Hey guys, and this is going to be another video podcast. This is one of the first of its kind, but there will be some more. And as you guys can see, there's the epic TV show Lego Ninjago now. I don't know if you guys know, but as a kid, I really enjoyed Lego Ninjago. It was a staple of my childhood. So I thought that this would be one of the first, podcasts that we do, a Lego Ninjago one, for that. And we'll be talking about two series today. And this is about The Island and Seabound. Now we'll start with The Island because it's the newer of the two. And we'll go on. Now definitely tell me if you guys like these sort of videos where we do a podcast. Now they won't always be on TV shows or that. But I just wanted to do the first one on Lego Ninjago. An absolute epic show. Even now. But I'm not always going to do them on shows. I might do them on games or something. Or just life things. So yeah. Now, the first thing I want to talk about The Island is the characters in that. Now, we have some of the exact same characters as normal. We have the ninja, we have Lou, we have Clutch Powers for some reason. I don't know. The Adventures of Clutch Powers, the movie, I haven't seen that in a long time. I don't really know why he was in Ninjago, but it's whatever. I mean, it kind of does affect the season. Now, the season sort of starts where I'm pretty sure they're there for an Adventures Club sort of thing. It's really weird, but yeah. And I think, no. So they're there for the Adventure Club thing, and they encounter a giant, stone guy, which is that guy, and he attacks them and brings them back to a village. Let's go back to this one. I really like this one more than the other one. And the ninja come, and they get one of the coolest things, and this is the catamarans. Now, Lego sets, I don't know. I feel like as a kid I liked them, but nowadays I have some big ones that I really like, but I don't really buy them anymore. But one of the only sets I would buy from this are these, the Catamaran Sea Battle. I don't know. I just really like the catamarans, and they come with a lot of nice minifigures. But we're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, no. So they go on the catamarans, and they get to the island, the ninja. And they also have this guy, Itchy, who was the only other person who was at the island, but he has, this weird thing that happened with the lightning that sort of, makes his memory go all haywire. But yeah, so they get to the island, they encounter the, stone guy again. And he takes all of them except Lloyd, who finds, Twitchy in a cave, I believe. And they talk about rescuing them. Well, the rest of the ninja at the village see this one, the chief, Mamadus, I think, and he talks about a storm amulet that he's guarding for Wojiro, which we'll get to in the Seabound part of this podcast, but we're not there yet. So yeah, and he talks about how it will awaken Wojiro and that. And then he prisons them all except Jay, which then everyone starts feeding him and calling him the gift of Jay, which is really funny. But I actually really like Jay, so, yeah. And the gift of Jay is actually kind of like a ruse, but we'll talk about that later. So then, Itchy, after Lloyd gives a speech, I believe, decides to stay in the cave while Lloyd goes to find his friends. And while there, they meet Zippy, again, who is a dragon they met early in the story, and he's kind of like a jungle dragon. He's pretty flightless, but he can move very fast along the treetops, so that's pretty cool. And Zippy likes playing fetch with coconut. So Lloyd uses that to get his friends away, but they can't seem to find Jay until Clutch Powers tries to steal the storm amulet to bring back to the Adventures Club, which is really funny that Clutch would do that, but yeah. So then they get zapped and brought back, and now Jay is in a chair, and he doesn't know yet, but they're going to sacrifice him to Wojiro. Now, Wojiro just came up a month ago, and they've been sending riches and food and that, but they've run out of most of that. So now they are sending people, such as Jay, or the gift of Jay, and in the sense, Jay is the gift to Wojira. So, the group gets out, because I'm pretty sure Kai lights the things on fire because they're on wooden poles. And then they go to Jay, and Jay's just on a small little ship, and there's a giant Wojira, and then he scoops Jay up. But then Lloyd realizes that this was a ruse because Wojira doesn't have wooden teeth. So he told the island folk, and then they went to the island where Ronan, a character from an earlier season, was sitting there waiting with a whole bunch of criminals that broke out at the beginning of the season. And they made a wooden Wojira to steal people's riches. But then Twitchy, with the frickin' catamaran, comes out, blows up he destroys the wooden Wojira. I don't know if he blows it up. But he destroys the wooden Wojira with the catamaran. Look at that catamaran, super cool. And then they steal all the riches, and they put Ronan and the rest of the Kryptarian prisoners in the prison of the store. And then they talk to the island folk about the amulet, and then they leave. Which is honestly my thoughts on the season. I mean, it was only 5 episodes, and they were all 11 minutes. I think all the episodes combined, it was either less than an hour or a little bit over an hour. But I feel like this season was super good for an hour-long season. Because in a sense, that's just 3 episodes of the normal, first season, let's say. And there's 20 episodes, I think, in that. So yeah, there's a lot. But I feel like it got a lot through. And it brought some of the cooler, newer Ninjago sets in my head, because a lot of the older Ninjago sets were super cool. The Ultimate Dragon or the Ultra Dragon versus the Great Devourer, which was a 2012 set, that was fire. The Dragon Forge from Hands of Time, that was a good one. But a lot of the newer sets were kind of lacking, but the Catamaran battle, this is one of the cooler sets. I mean, it's 708 pieces, and I'm pretty sure it's $70. Comes with 6 minifigures. That's not bad. And I brought this up because I kind of want to talk about the box, because I do like it. The box has this jungle thing. What I like even more is that it has sort of a sand thing at the bottom, which is a Wojira looking thing, which we'll see more when we look at Seabound. But yeah, no. My overall thoughts this season was it was good for what it was. It got a point across, because this season was kind of set up for Seabound. It got a good point across for Seabound, as well as some nice sets, as well as not only the Catamaran battle, but there's also the Jungle Dragon, which in my opinion is one of the best $40 sets. And then we got the $20 Lloyd's Jungle Chopper, which isn't bad for $20. I mean, it's decent. And then we also got the Keeper's Village, which I really like, but I feel like it's too small for a $60 set, it's either 60 or 50, but I feel like they should have either made it bigger or made it less money. But yeah, so my overall thoughts is that the season was probably around if we were to take it from normal Ninjago seasons, it's probably a 6 out of 10. There wasn't too much in it of that, but if we were just to take it for an hour-long special, which is what I really think it was, it's a 8 out of 10. I actually really like the Island or the Jungle series, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so now we are going to move on to Seabound. Ninjago Seabound is kind of the real season 14. Some people say it's season 15 and the Island was season 14. But in my opinion, the Island was kind of just a special that had episodes, but I don't know. I'm going to count this as season 14. But yeah. Now, the main character of the season is Nia, and a lot about this season is about Wojira and the Wave and the Storm Amulet. And let's start from the beginning. So, practically, Nia's powers go all wonky. So, her mom has to help her 'cause she was the original elemental master of the of water. So she does, but her powers are still wonky. A whole bunch of boats sank because of an electrical storm coming from like a trench. So they decided to explore it in a new ship called the Hydro Bounty, which is also the most expensive set in like the Lego set ways. And then they come to this giant place that has Wojira in it. Wojira is why Nia's powers are going all wonky, because Wojira is like the master of water and wind. So yeah, which is kind of like Moro, if you remember him, and Nia. And they haven't awoken him, but Prince Kalmar, who's on the bottom of the screen, he is trying to awake, or King Kalmar, whatever. He is trying to awaken Wojira to like flood the surface and make the endless sea. And he is very interesting. I think of him as like a sort of brat, not even gonna lie. He just comes off as a brat. But yeah, so he's a good villain. And I really just want to talk about him for a while. He's a good villain. He has good setup. His ideas are pretty smart, but he doesn't always stick to the plan and go with the ideas. And his personality is kind of just like brattish. And I don't know. His design in the Lego sets are pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty unique. But yeah. No, so he's trying to awaken Wojira, but they don't have the storm amulet. They know where the storm amulet is. He catches them and ties them up. Nia starts talking about the storm amulet. So then Kalmar is intrigued, but then she doesn't tell him anymore. Eventually, he goes to talk to the king, which I forget what his name is. But it doesn't really matter because he's going to be gone soon. And they escape, Nia and her mother. And then they go to their mechs that they have, which is also a set in the series. And then they get, like, attacked by these sharks. Usually they're called ripper sharks. They're kind of like helicoprians, which are like dinosaur fish, I guess. And they were really interesting. They kind of like almost killed them, but they didn't. And yeah, so after that, Kalmar kind of went like crazy. They went to the island of Keepers, but when they got there, they entrusted the Chief Mammotus, the G, entrusted them with the storm amulet. But they realized that the not G clutch powers stole the amulet. Yeah, he stole it and brought it back to the Adventurers Club. King Kalmar knew or figured this out, so he destroyed the Hydro Bounty. At the island of the Keepers, which is where they were, is surrounded by storms, so they couldn't just like get out. So Nia had to channel her energy and summon like whales. So she did. That was pretty cool. They escaped the island. They almost caught Kalmar, but there was a whole like side episode about Antonio and Nelson, the paper girl and boy, who seem to show up in almost every season and have their own little episode. But eventually, they try to escape King Kalmar, because what he does is he actually kills his father, the king, and then his king tells his adopted brother Bentamar to do that. So yeah, he steals the real storm amulet, but before he can get away, Nia nabs it from him, and they bring it up to the city that was in the King of the Mountain, or I forget what that was called. That series with like the Skull Sorcerer, the Keeper of the Mountain, and yeah, but he done duped them, and that was the fake amulet that Clutch Powers put there. So he awakens Wojira. They attack the city. I feel like it would have been really cool if the catamaran, if like the Keepers came out with their catamarans and started like, because this wave engulfed Ninjago City, and if they come with their like catamarans and they started attacking Wojira to help the ninja, but sadly that did not happen. I feel like that would have been really not cool, or really cool. But you know, it is what it is. Wojira attacks. Jay almost drowns, but no one can get the water out of his lungs, not even Nia. So Nia goes into like this Super Saiyan form. that Niad, who was the first person to kill Ojiro, did. But here's the thing, is this cannot be erased, which it may or may not be erased later. And she becomes one with the sea, and she can, like, defeat Ojiro then. She gets this super cool, like, water dragon form, which is another set from the series. And that's really cool. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorites. And she kind of defeats Ojiro by hitting the wave amulet out. Yeah. And then Ojiro kind of gets, like, sucked up into the clouds, probably to a different resting place now. And, yeah. The series kind of ends really sad because Nia doesn't even, like, remember them. She does kind of, but she doesn't have any, like, emotional attachment to them, not even Jay. So then she kind of just disappears into the ocean. And then they have all, like, a whole ceremony for her. And it was actually, like, kind of sad. Because Nia was one of the core ninjas, even since, like, the beginning when she was Samurai X. But yeah, no, it is what it is. But she does, spoilers, she does come back in the Crystal King, which we are not going to be reviewing today. Because not all of it is out. She does come back for that, and she does, like, get back into her human form, except then she doesn't have her powers. But yeah, now we are going to talk about the Seabound sets like we did for the one Catamaran Battle, the best set in Jungle for me. The best set in Seabound, in my opinion, is the Temple of the Endless Sea. This runs around $99.99, around $100. It comes with 7 minifigures. It comes with Scuba Kai and a Scuba Pod, as well as the Super Nia. And it comes with Maragar's Gluttonous. My boy Gluttonous. I love Gluttonous. It comes with Prince Kalmar, who looks decent. He has a cool mold. It also comes with Benthamar, the only set with Benthamar and Gluttonous, which is really nice. But the box now, let's review them. So this one has like a Sand Ojiro and Lloyd in the top, and then the Seabound one has Nia in the top, as well as an actual like Ojiro at the bottom. And I think that's really cool. I don't know, I like both of the boxes. Now I really like the set because it has Ojiro. Even though what I would have probably liked is that they took away the $40 like Jay's car and made like a maybe $50 or $60 Ojiro set, and then keep the Temple of the Endless Sea at $100 and then like make it bigger, because there's no room for Ojiro to have both the amulets on. And I wish he could at least have both the amulets on, because like now in the show they were both on his head, and here they kind of just sit on his stomach and you can only have one. And also, Kalmar can't stand on his head. It's kind of like the Great Devourer problem, where I think I would have rather just had a really big Great Devourer instead of this sort of smaller build that we got with the Ultra Dragon. But yeah, you know, that's just my thoughts. So this was the first of the sort of podcasty videos where you can like sit down, listen, and like have this in the background. So I hope you guys liked it. I'm going to make more, and I'll see you guys next time.